And we are live. Ooh, let's do this. Let's rename this though. uh. Yo, how's everyone doing? Welcome everybody. What's up everybody? Should I be like Danny? Welcome everybody, welcome everybody, welcome. Awesome everyone, awesome. Let's let a couple people join here. Oh, alright, let's see there. Awesome everybody. Welcome. Let's see, so this is below the WEWAP. Alright. Buying the dip on dark pool just means like people are, because it was down today, people wanted to buy in and dark pool orders were coming in. Basically means people with a lot of money that can't place regular orders place dark pool orders. Basically prearranged buys at certain levels. You don't like my chart I'm on? I like my chart. I'm going to show you something amazeballs. This is in TradingView. So I have it customized to my settings, but this is TradingView. It's free. I pay for this, but it's free. So I know a lot of people today were following me in CVS, so you can see the big thing we want to see here is we have this downtrend right here, and the biggest thing about it is you can see that this used to be resistance and we bounced hard off of it, so now it's support. That to me tells me that we're starting a new uptrend here. So not only did it break a downtrend starting in 2015, so 2015 it was at 114. So it took almost 6 years for it to reverse, and it finally reversed. And you can see I had this gap up above it to basically tell people, hey, I'm reversing. So people are now finally coming into CVS, and they're really seeing the light. I've been on CVS since the 50s right here. Excuse me. Ugh. Must be getting the COVID. So I started investing in CVS right around 52. I think 52 was my first average I got in. And I played all the way up here, and then I had my heart broken. But I think we're finally starting to turn around here. So there's a lot of news coming out on CVS, and we'll get into Elliott Waves in a second here. So there's a lot of news on CVS coming out with the vaccine, and the sentiment on CVS has really turned around. What happened was right around here, I think it was right here on this earnings, they announced that they were buying Aetna for a ridiculous price, which is it's like the second or third largest health insurance company in the U.S. And so they basically bought a company that was worth more than themselves. So they put themselves in extreme debt. And so they just went on a giant down spree because people thought they weren't going to be paid off their debt. Well, it turns out Aetna makes a shit ton of money and pays for itself. So now their price to book ratio and everything looks amazing. And so now it's a steal of a buy. It's probably worth anywhere between $160 and $180 a share. So if you looked at the financials here, you can look in like statistics and go to quarterly. You can see it's got a price to earnings ratio of 9.6. I believe the average in the S&P 500 is like 28. So that would put us at a 3 times multiple of where it should be to catch up to the S&P 500, which would put it at 3 times the current price. So that's a $220 price target that we could potentially get to. Like, it's something that could really, really ramp up over the next... It's probably not going to do it right away, but what that does mean is we got a lot of catch-up buying to do, and it can move really fast. You can see here it went from 50 all the way up to 70 in just a couple months, and I mean, since November 3rd, it went from 55, and it went all the way up to 75, so... yeah, I'm in 70 leaps for 2022, and I also have 80 calls for this January 15th, which are traditional leap dates. So, if you'd like, I'll take you through some wave theory here. So, first thing I always do when I start my waves is I take my Fib tool here, my Fib Retracement. On a downtrend, I always start from the top, and I go all the way to the bottom. And this is going to tell me different key levels. So basically, it's going to show me zones where there's lots of buying. So you have this zone is broken out, and so we're still in this zone. So basically, when it breaks through a zone, then we get fast movement. So if CVS can get above 75 and hold it, it's most likely going to go to 82. No, I don't use the pitchfork. I'm pretty simple. I like my tools. They work, and I stick with what works. So... now that I have this major zone, now I can go into mini zones. So I have a 4 hour up here. We can jump into the hour and really dive into the most recent here. So people always want to know, well, it's at all-time highs. How am I going to know how much farther it's going to go? It's really easy, actually. I discovered this a while ago, and I've been using it ever since, and it's a really reliable tool. So you have your Fib Retracement tool here, but you also have your trend-based Fib extension. Yeah, not ribs, fibs. F is in Frank. So I'll take my trend-based Fib extension, and I'll go from the bottom of the most recent low. So right here. What happened? It didn't click, I guess. So I'll go from the bottom of the most recent low, and I'll go to the top of the most recent high here. Now, I try to go to a solid movement here. I don't really count this as a gap. There's a lot of rules to learn additionally in using this tool, but if you just follow this, it'll be pretty helpful. So, basically what happened here is we had a 23% extension from this move, and it rejected off of that. So, you can see here, it then retraced this. It filled this gap here twice, so it filled it on the way up and the way down, bounced off the downtrend line, and we're still in a downtrend here, but we're also could be starting an uptrend here. One other thing to consider is we also have what I would consider, you want at least 7 days for a cup, and this would be almost a month long. So for me, I could see a cups forming here. So this could be your cup right here. And then this to me is a handle. So there's your handle right there. Clone this. And so now we have a cup and handle. So as soon as this breaks this line, this would be your buy signal. So if you got in now, it's fine. We should likely see it hit at least 72, 70 plus 72.50. So it should at least try to retest this. So typically when you see this, you'll see this, and it may come down here and test this again and then bounce out, and pretty much an inverted cup and then into an inverted handle, and then we get the break, and that's possible. But really what we're looking for is this December 18th date. Is we want that to break out by then, and it should break out by then, and we should be able to make money off of that. Now let's talk about Elliott Wave. So if this is a correction wave and this is done, basically for this you would have, this is your Elliott Wave up, this is your Elliott Wave down, and now we're starting a new Elliott Wave up. So this would have been a correction wave down right there, and now we're starting a new wave up. So for me, this is an impulse wave. You're going to see down, and this shouldn't be the end of it. So this should actually just be the start of it, and it should go somewhere between the 38 and the 618, the extension, in these golden zones. So I have these gold because these are the most probable scenarios. Now in reality, it could touch any of these zones, anywhere between the red and red, and it could even blow the top off and go higher. But the most probability is you have about, I think it's like a 60 to 70% probability of hitting the golden zone. And because this was a sharp, we're most likely going to get a flat rule of alternation, and then we'll most likely get some sort of extension also. So typically there's different rules. Me and ATM follows traditional rules. If you follow ATM, where it's like extensions of the first wave, like the 1.68 of the first wave is how you would get through the second wave. I'm a little bit hybrid theory. I call it the Bruce Lee method, where I don't adhere to strict Elliott Wave theory. I like to combine other different theories. So yes, this is being recorded. So typically you can actually you can do a couple different things here to kind of see where these waves are. So you can look back and see, okay, am I actually just in a giant wave here as well? So I do this occasionally. I make these parabolic curves to kind of see if they match up with anything. So I don't care for this, but these you can kind of eyeball it and see if you get in this curve right here. So then you can kind of follow it that way. And just kind of make it match up there. I gotta find a better way of doing this tool. It actually drives me nuts doing it by hand. Now everyone was like, how do you project timetables? That's one of the things I've had the hardest thing with, but I've gotten much better at it this year than in the past. So you can use a couple of different tools in here. You have a fib time zone, trend-based time zone. You can do your fib circles. You can do your fib resistant arcs. Some people use a GON fan or a fib fan. I like to just keep it simple and use a fib zone. So I'll go down and I'll go to the top here, and I'll make that match up with some of the stuff here. So to me, that means this should potentially hit there, and then this should hit here, and then this will potentially hit there. And if we are super bullish and this is a cup and handle, if you've watched my cup and handle series, you would know that we draw a horizontal line at the top of the cup right here, and then you would measure. Why is that up here? Let's bring this down here. You just draw a trend line here, take it from the top here all the way down to the bottom, and then you could take that over here and move it to the top, and that would put our price target actually at the 82, so then we can move that up there. This is Trading View. I can get you a link for it if you'd like. Let's see here. So, well, one second. I'm getting a lot of questions on what software is this. This is free software. You don't have to pay for this. So that's my referral link for TradingView. It's free. You don't have to pay for it, but if you do end up getting a paid plan, it helps me put some money back into my AI alerts, which is nice. What's up, Fire Cycle? I see your charting's getting better. So, I like to use the time tools. There's other time tools you can use, like you can do a trend-based one. So let's say you want to do a trend-based one. It's a little different. I don't like it as much, but it does have purposes. So typically they'll overlap a lot too. So this will help you identify trends and stuff, so you can see in here, typically when you get a break here, you'll see a big move at the end of the trend, so you can see a down, and then down, and then now it's reversing here. So if this is the end of this wave right here, you could definitely see this could be the end, and then we could start the breakout here next week. So if we get some news over the weekend, I could definitely see this pushing up towards 83, 82, 83 area. So that's kind of something that's really cool on it. Now, I know a lot of people were watching Disney today, so why don't we look at Disney and see where this is going. Holy cow. So Disney actually was at the end of this pennant here, looks like. Looks like I had this charted out previously. So, unlike other times where this would be bearish, they had news that just made them blow the top off. It could have been built in DT. So if investors had been expecting it, basically it was priced into, you know, it's really hard sometimes to know if things are priced in or not. But CVS has gone on a pretty big run, so likelihood of it being priced in was pretty good. So now, if this is our move, let's see if we can do our fib levels here. So I talked about how gaps don't always have to be filled either. So if you have breakaway gaps, these tend to be filled a lot less than other gaps, but doesn't mean we don't have to fill the gap. So if this was previously filled, that also could be a way of knowing if it's going to be filled. Okay, so we're at all-time highs. So there is a good possibility it will come down eventually, but again, because this is be considered a breakaway gap, I don't necessarily know if it will be filled. So if it starts to be filled, though, that's when we're shorting it. So if this gap starts to get filled, I would go heavily short on it, because the general rule of thumb is if a gap starts to be filled, it will be filled. But a gap doesn't have to be filled. I think that's one of the things that me and Danny differ on, is he's always telling you gaps have to be filled. They don't always have to get filled, but they do like to get filled. Look at this volume bar. Holy Toledo. Alright, let's look and see what kind of levels we got here. So let's use our fib extension tool. Let's go from the bottom here. We're on the 4 hour here. Let's go to the top here and see if this rejected off of certain levels. So it looks like it rejected off the 50%. It tried twice to break over it. Typically when that happens, you'll see it kind of retest through the golden zone here, and then whichever way it breaks, you could play that. So we could also try, let's see here. Yeah, there's just some crazy volume today. Makes me wonder if it actually is off of this one. Let's try deleting this one and go from this, since this is a full move right here. There it is. So this is a full extension up to the 179.56 with a solid rejection off of it. No, I didn't do that right. Hold on. This should be right there. Okay. So be curious where this goes. If it gets over the 183, this could really run. That's crazy. I don't think Disney... Let's look at the financials here real quick. Let's see if the I don't think the financials support it at all. Yeah, they don't. It's just, yeah, basically people are building in future price at this point. The financials do not support. I mean, they're fine money wise, but in terms of like book value, PE ratio, BD ratio, things like that, they're way high. And I don't think a lot of people look into this that much in the financials, but they do matter over time. I mean, I talked about it before. Like if we looked at NEO and you looked at the financials, you could realize NEO was going to run out of money, and they were going to... I forgot that I made this. Oh, wow. This is... I think Fire Cycle, me and him were talking about NEO and the short opportunities on it. So it looks like this was more like... This would probably be... Alright, so if this is a head and shoulders right here, so this is like, you got your shoulder, and your head. You could then do the trend line thing where you take the top to bottom here, and then you would basically mark that out down here. Oh my goodness. And that's where you would get this. That can't be right. I mean, you do have a gap down here, but does that look right? Yeah, alright, fair enough. I feel like it's getting bigger. I don't know, I feel like it's playing head games with me. So that would put us at a price target to short it down to 24. I don't know if that'll happen, but it seems a little ridiculous. But based on the head and shoulders rule, if so basically what you would see... Okay, so let's say this does break it. I'm just going to use this tool. It's not an actual Elliott Wave, but let's say this breaks this. You would see probably a test on the trend line, and then you would see it retest the shoulder or the neckline here, and then it would come down, retest this, and then you would see it probably come down to here, something like that. It might come down to right there, refill that gap. Doubt it would actually come up. This would actually probably make more sense. If we go super bearish on NEO, this would be what I would see. Yeah, I love Danny to death, but when I saw NEO in his long term, it made me cringe. That's why I called it trash. That he didn't like that. But the financials here. Let's go into the financials. I don't see. This is the thing I struggle with. Is I teach new people all the time, and they just look at the charts and they look at what's trending, and they don't even have like their enterprise. They don't have anything here that they can make ratios on because they don't make money. So if you go like into their balance sheet, you can see like they basically for the longest time had more debt than they had assets, and then they've raised a lot of money lately, so they have assets now. But they burn through cash, so like, they're burning 1.2 billion on average a year, and if their cash on hand, let's see, negative 1.5, their balance sheet, so it shows you. Let's see, where's the total current assets, cash? Where's their total debt? Where's their cash on hand? I thought maybe it's not on here because this is one of the reasons why China stocks are getting sued is they don't give us all their stuff. Yeah, Tesla and Neo stock are very similar in movement because the sectors usually move in conjunction with each other. Um, but basically, when I was doing the cash on hand to cash burn, when I did this before earlier, it gave me like 8 months till they were out of money and bankrupt. And now they're raising some more money, so they'll be able to last a little longer. But unless they start turning a profit, there's no reason why Neo would ever be a safe long-term investment, especially at the ridiculous valuations it's at. So yeah, if you wanted to compare Tesla, you could overlay Tesla like this. Um, I mean, they move similar, but Neo has moved higher lately. So they used to move in conjunction with each other here, percentage-wise. And you can see this. And they moved down, but Tesla's been moving up slower than Neo lately, so they may... they've been moving a little, like lately they've been moving a little different than each other. So while Neo's been tanking, right here they finally broke apart from each other. So Neo is outrunning Tesla, and now Tesla's outrunning Neo. Why is this? There we go. Alright. I don't know why I have these lines on here. So when I was looking at this before and I charted this, I saw an Elliott Wave here. So basically you have, this is like a super wave right here. So you have a sharp correction to a flat correction, and then this would be your extension right here. So basically this is your wave. Let's do a fib extension here. I think I did it off of here. Alright, so this would be actually, I mean, it could have, this could be done. If it bounced off the 618 right here, this could be done, but I think I put, if we had a full extension right here, this could be up here. Oops. This would give us the mental target of 7 with FOMO kicking in at the end, and then that would make us push over. Now, if we did it with a 23% off of this, which might be what I have actually there, that would make a lot of sense. Oh, yeah, that's what I did. Alright, that's what I had. So I got 720 basically being the 50% here. And I have it hitting the peak at the day they get into the S&P 500. So if you take the day they get in the S&P 500, we could do potentially a fib wave here too. Seems a little... When I did a fundamental evaluation, I basically determined that the highest that this should even be valued at would probably be 466, but in reality they should be around 303 in this area, and then in a normal world they would be down in here. But we're not in a normal world, so we need to keep that in mind. And you can see basically we had drop in volume, and now volume is kind of curling up, but now it's dropping back down. So if we see volume continue to drop and price continue to rise into December 21st, then we know a reversal is coming. So on the 21st, they get in the S&P 500. By then, all the ETFs should have balanced their counter books. So that's going to dry up buying. Everyone knows it's overpriced, so we're going to have a correction. So be careful Christmas week this year. I had like 1 million people ask me to chart AMD. Hey, look, it's charted. So AMD looks like a pretty solid cup it's forming right now. Fire's like, it's in wave 5. Is it though? Is it though? Alright, so you got this probably wave 1, that wave 2, and then this would be your wave 3, or is this your wave 3? Because wave 2 should be much bigger, so to me this would be wave 2 to 3, and then this would be your wave 5? Is that what you're thinking? Because to me, I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if this is actually a wave right here, and now we're starting a new wave. This looks crazy. Let me take a look at this real quick. Oh, you're looking at this, and you're just looking at this right here. Okay, I could see that. This being a correction wave, and then you have a mini wave, a mini cycle right here. So you're thinking this is the correction wave right here. Wait, did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. And then you're thinking this is the next wave. So this is your handle, basically, what you're thinking then. So this is your cup right here, and this would be the handle. And then you're breaking out with the wave 5. And the wave 4 is the correction of the handle. disregard this. Let's pay attention to this. So then, let's do our fibs on it then, if that's what you're thinking. So to me then, AMD will most likely go back down to 87, and then it'll rocket up. So probably see some sort of flat or connection like that, and then we could potentially see our fifth wave. But this won't actually probably go up to 110. What it'll probably do is something like probably do more of a 101. So the 101 makes a lot of sense because everyone's got this mental number of 100 in their head for AMD. Would you believe that I owned 1,000 shares of AMD at $14? Or no, it was a couple thousand. And I sold them at 20. Wow, I was stupid for that, wasn't I? Ow. I just cracked my knuckle. That really hurts. I can't read your colors. It's like, oh, you got the 618 there. Okay. Had some requests for a Dropbox because it went off the chain today. Ugh. So Dropbox just went crazy off my chart today, so let me clean this up a little bit so it's easier to see. So I originally had Dropbox kind of rejecting off this trend line, but it broke through here, and I think it's at like 25 right now or something after hours, like something stupid. So wait, no, it's, how do I do? Can I do? I thought it was right here. Extended hours. There we go. Oh, I guess it's not including it. Oh, probably because I have the daily. That would make sense. There we go. Holy cow, there we go. That's crazy. So it's at 24.29. I think it touched almost, what, touched 25.60? That's crazy. So I thought it was going to come back. Looks like it was more like this in the channel here. So now we have basically this. It'll probably, well, it's more like right here. So when this starts Monday, it'll be somewhere in here. So then we're probably going to have a sharp correction here because of just how this gap's going to be just insane. So we could have a correction down on the gap. We could not. I don't really chart with extended hours, so this will be something I'm going to pay attention to Monday. We'll see what happens, but we could probably project where it will be. Look at this volume too. The volume all week has been nice. So if it did, let's say it does start at 24.83 on Monday. A correction down to the 386 would be ideal for a nice move back up to 27. And then that would give us FOMO, people moving in, and then a really nice leg 5. Or this could create a full 168 connection, and then we could see a sharp correction down to the 24.83, and then the final leg could move all the way to 30. So that would be a crazy move. And that would put us pretty much near, I think the all-time high is like 40. Wait. It got up to 44. So if we do have buyout rumors and that's substantiated, we could see this thing really fly. I'd be a little cautious because there's just rumors that I started and people have been picking up. It does have a nice curling action going on here. So keep that in mind too, that it is curling into the uptrend. This is what, honestly, the technicals are what drew me to it to begin with. It wasn't any type of buyout rumors or anything like that. Like, it was just the fact that you saw this curling up, and then the big thing I saw was this downtrend break, and I was like, oh, this could be nice for a couple dollar move. And then it broke out here, so now this thing's going to go crazy. So I heard CVE did good. Oh wow, that thing's, I think I charted this right here. That's pretty cool. ATV chart looks really nice. I got ATV going to pretty much to 100. This might actually go a lot faster. I have the time. You know, honestly, actually, based on, this should be down here. That means this would actually be up here. And this should be here. And then this should be probably right there. That makes more sense like that. Okay, I like that better. Raul, you've gotten a lot better. The strides I've seen you make are off the chain. Oh, look at that. My waves were correct on BA. And ATM called me a fool. This looks nice, though. I like that. Says you guys are not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Well, that's annoying. If you have the same chart, it's probably a good thing. I don't know if I have Fastly. Probably have it charted for some reason. I usually have stuff charted because people ask. That was pretty close. I had it here and bounced off here and then it kept going. So this looks like it's more like this now. So this did start filling the gap here, so I'd be curious to see if it fills it to 121. I would imagine it needs a corrective wave first, and then the next triple wave will get up there. So for me, if I don't know what the hell that tool was. Looks like it rejected off the 618, so then going back down here, so you could see, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you could see, you know, kind of something like this. And it formed kind of a flat top here. And then your next one might be something like this. And then that would fill the gap like that. So maybe, actually this would be something like, Something like that. Let me take a look at Fastly here. They've really only been trading for 2 years? Probably makes a lot of sense. Alright, I'm gonna chart more. Need to have some beverage. Alexi and Clovis, you're gonna like my Clovis chart. I'm waiting on this, Alex. I hear you here because I've been eyeing this up. Once it breaks this line, ooh, should we automate this to the server? So when it breaks this line, we get a server-wide ping and be like, it's go time on Clovis. Because when it breaks this line, Clovis is one of those things where I've seen a lot of people writing about it as a 2021 rebound stock. It's got major upside. It needs good trial news though. I don't need your Elliott Wave chart on Amazon. I have one. There's your Elliott Wave chart on Amazon. Also, if you're in my server, this green line here, when this breaks, I have a server-wide ping that will go out and tell us it's go time on Amazon. Until then, I'm not touching Amazon. So when this line breaks, I will go in. But beforehand, you're just chasing fool's gold until then, in my opinion. So. Bull, you're like, dude, yeah, I actually logged into your trading view, copied it, and then pasted it over mine. Or you saw my chart and copied it on yours. So basically when this line goes right here, like I would imagine to be sometime next week, 3150-ish. When that breaks, we're pretty much guaranteed to go to 3500. In my opinion, I will go all in. If this line breaks, I'm going all in. 3,500 naked calls. You know what else is beautiful about this? Look at the volume on it. So we know there's a reversal coming because this volume is doing this. Like, that is one of the prettiest things you can see on the end of a tip. Seeing that right there. So I actually had it was pointed out to me that I fucked up the DEFCON levels. DEFCON 5 is actually in actual DEFCON-ness the safest level, and DEFCON 1 is the highest alert level. No, I haven't gone over Zoom yet. Don't really want to, but why not? Let's look at some trash. Hey, look at that. I haven't touched my chart in forever, and it's still following my chart. Don't even need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Zoom's going to 325, and anyone that tells me it's not, I will fight them. Is it blurry for people? Or my internet's being stupid sometimes. I got Wi-Fi and I'm in the basement, but I got killer Wi-Fi cards. I haven't drilled a hole in my floor to run cord yet. That would fix a lot of things, but I will look at Pelotar for 5 seconds. Alright, maybe a little bit more than 5 seconds, but either way, why is this? This should be down here. I hate Pelotar. Pelotar can burn to the ground. I like Pelotar down here at $9. Excuse me. Ooh, $9, $10, and it looked beautiful. Now Pelotar will pretty much make a flag. This is what's going to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what it's going to do. It's going to make... let's just get rid of everything. Oh, I got the hiccups. It's because I'm looking at trash too much. So, on December 31st, this is exactly what's going to happen on Pelotar. I'm almost positive of it. Alright, so December 31st right here. I find it funny. You're going to get all your premiums eaten because it's going to bounce back and forth in here till this day. This is a very special day in Pelotar history. It only happens once in a stock life's history. This is when trash will reveal itself. So, Pelotar's lockup date is December 31st. So this is when all the executives and everyone that bought the stock down here on IPO bought it at between $4 and $8. Now they can sell it at $26 and cash in, and they don't need to be invested anymore. Let me show you some other stuff here. So they were supposed to make 2 cents a share here. They were at negative 49, missing by 4,000%. They have never won. They've been a company since 2008, and not in 1 year, not even in any quarter have they ever made money. Oh, well, Merkage can come tell me that himself. I like Merc. Merc's cool. I'm sad that he isn't in any of my servers anymore. I joined his server though. You don't have to say it's so mean. But yeah, I mean, assets and liabilities fine. They raise money, but they just don't. They just don't make money. I think that's the biggest thing I dislike. Is if you look at their balance, their operating income is always negative. So I mean, annually their operating income, they lose $1 billion a year. They're gonna lose $2 billion this year. I do have a big ego. It's okay to have a big ego when you win all the time. Merkage was a original ET that got banned. More of a falling out between him and Danny for conflicts of interest, but I'm not going to get into that. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. How do I make a mod? Is that something I can do? Ooh, there we go. Raul, you're a moderator. Go. Alright, I'll look at a couple more tickers. I got like 10 minutes left here. Kind of curious what Baidu's going to do. What is this charting? What did I do here? That's not right. I must have did this a long time ago. think Baidu is a good long-term play. I don't always go into China stocks, but Baidu is one that's got high upside. Ooh, this is playing out. Charted that a while ago. What's that? Oh man, I called this back here at $10 on this green line breakout, and I said this thing's going to 14, and it basically hit 14. I was a little off, but that was a newsletter play right there. Ooh, ConocoPhillips. Is this thing going back to 63? Let's see what happens there. It's in a bull pennant right there. Ampy? Are you gonna have me look at a penny stock? I swear to God. Yes. No, I'm not looking at penny stocks. Get out of here. I made a lot of money off CPRI. Oh, look at that! My chart played out perfect. CRM. I love it. I haven't touched this in forever. I think I charted it right here. This should actually be up here. There we go. Perfect channel. This thing's going back down to probably 210. This is not a good formation right here. See what's going on here. What's going on with weed? I thought weed was gonna pick up a lot more. I do like this though. I'm seeing a fallen wedge right here. This could be good. Basically, to me, that means this could be a good move Monday to go back up to like maybe a 70-cent move. So for me, this would be could do something like this and then break out. Alright, you that way, you're going in timeout. Like, you need to calm the fuck down. Jesus. Like, I'm trying to do this to be nice. What was that, Bed Bath & Beyond, BBY? Or Best Buy? Ooh, yeah. I don't know, man. That looks like it's going back down to 91. I don't even need to really guess on that. I'm going to show you why. I guess this is a strategy. I don't know if a lot of ETs know this strategy, but see, maybe this is more like this. So if a retracement on this goes down and then it can't break over the 236 and then breaks below it, it's also always going to go back down to a 236 extension here. So for me, that puts it at the 96. And then if it doesn't break that, it'll go down to the 0.5, and that would fill the gap. So it's probably going to do that. Probably going to go like that. That would be my guess. I had a lot of requests for D-King. We'll do D-King. You guys will like this. I already have it charted. So D-King looks good. I mean, you basically have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, and now we have a correction right here, which if you're on a super wave, would look something like that. So there you go. If you wanted levels, this would be a rejection off the all-time high into a handle, a breakout. For me, this may have already hit, so this may be good. Otherwise, it could, in theory, go back down here next week and test this curve right here. Could not. I might actually need to adjust this curve slightly. Whoops, what is going on here? This curve may be more like this. So then that would put that right here. And this right here. And this up here. There. That would make more sense. I'll tweet this out for everyone. To the T. What kind of pasta were you eating, Fire? Is it a red sauce, white sauce? Did you grind up a bunch of money and make a green sauce? Well, that don't look good. I have no idea what happened here. Looks like they had terrible earnings. Oh, they did have terrible earnings. Holy cow, did they have... Oh, their earnings were just atrocious. Oh, this thing's gonna get corrected hard. I mean, hold on, let me dig into these financials here real quick. Oh, revenue's been really good. Operating expenses, though, are crazy. I like that they're making more money all the time, but I mean, if you're burning more money than you're making, that's just... Yeah. I mean, to me, don't get me wrong, maybe I'm crazy. I think this is going down to 139 easily. I don't think it's done. It's just got nothing going for it right now. Don't listen to Alex. All my Microsoft charts got it going to 200. Everyone's like, Microsoft, yeah. And I'm like, no, man, not Microsoft. Holy MU. MU's been just nuts so lately. How about some Netflix? I wonder if Netflix like it was hurt by... I feel like Disney really hurts Netflix, but I think there's a world they both survive pretty easily. They don't do the same things or have the same audiences. It's kind of making a megaphone though. You know, megaphone's kind of a rare formation though. Well, this isn't Netflix, this is New Mount Mining. What am I doing? This is Netflix. This got me drinking too hard. I really think Netflix is going to go back to 560. I like it. There's some weird tickers. What was that? Untap. God, I had this breakout charted. Could have played a 50 to 60 move. This is why I need to automate more of my breakouts. Raul, this is not share all your charts hour. Oh, someone asked about Nvidia. I got oh my god, this Nvidia chart. Gorgeous. I totally forgot about Nvidia. I got Nvidia going to 800. Yeah. No way. It's really? Tom, what are you doing? You're on drugs. What's going on here? Oh, Realty, what have you been doing? Rejected my breakout. Now I gotta rechart you. This does look nice for a breakout next week, though. Filled the gap. Got a nice little descending wedge. Ooh. Red path it is. Green path invalidated. OSTK is going back to 18. I could, Alex. That was nice. Ooh, this filled the gap. Let's see what happens there. PFE's been going crazy lately, hasn't it? What the heck is AHT? Ashford Hospital? No, I'm not. No. No. You get Amazon. Amazon I have. You can have this. I'll put it in the chat for you. There's Amazon. I think I have snow charted. I'm not positive. So you got descending volume. This doesn't look that bad. I could see this getting one more push. Oops, I did that the wrong one. Hold on. So you got leg 1, leg 2. See what kind of extension we can hope for. I always like to go safer, so let's make our target 460. Still 100. That's holy cow. Still $110 move. When Snow's lockup, it just starts. Their lockup period. Yeah, that could definitely happen. I don't think their lockup period's anywhere near. It's funny because Danny was complaining because he got in at like 280 right here, and he lost money. Imagine if he just had held, he would have doubled his money. I did Disney already. Let me see if I can pull it up again. I basically at this point Disney's like in a weird area where it hasn't really established a trend. So for me, it's either gonna go to 180 or it's gonna go probably back down to 170, and it's gonna kind of hop around in here. And there's no buyers, or there's no one that owns it up here besides the people that just bought it. So you're gonna have more people taking profit, probably eventually down. You might have a slow burn back down to 157, like it's gonna go slow, and then you can get it to move back up. Ooh, Guild, yes. I want to chart Guild. I actually, I want to chart Guild and Merc, and then we're going to call it. Then I got to go put my daughter to bed. I actually charted this on my phone today, so that's why it looks a little haphazard, but in theory, this is theoretically a bear flag. So let me do a fib here real quick. I still like it to test at least 62. I'd almost like to see it test 63 if anything, but I don't think it's going down anymore. I mean, they actually just made a purchase to someone too. Yeah, I'm pretty good at chatting. I like talking. I think Danny did make money on Snow. I think you're right. Yeah. Let me look at Merc real quick. I think it. Oh. This would be like up here. Yeah, Merc looks good. I'm still happy with it. So, I'd like to see Merc push towards 87 here. Let's look at Bitcoin. Let's just see what's going on here. Looks like I had my levels a little bit off. Probably more up here. So that means this would be up here. This would be up here. This looks a little. That means this would be up here. I don't know. I do have Bitcoin making one more final push, though. I guess is the big thing. Merc for Mercage, that's right. Cisco. Oh, it did start filling the gap. if it bounces off here, so it bounces off 43.85, it should go back up to 47. It just had terrible earnings. Numbers are good value-wise, though. Balance sheet, yeah, I mean, there's no reason why it needs to be as low as it is. 47 to 50 would make more sense for fair value. Thank you, Raul. There's no reason to type something 10 times. Like, type it once. I can see it. Like, that shit drives me insane. One thing I struggle with sometimes is, where do you start the first wave? Do you start it here? Or do you start it here? Because in theory, this could be your PFE wave. It could just be a giant rising wedge, basically. And that makes, I mean, that makes sense to me. Where, like, let's say this is your wave right here, so this is your target. And maybe it's more like right there. We'll see. Fib retracement. Whoa. I don't remember doing PayPal. Raul's like, yeah, I like 264. That sounds awesome. I don't know what channel you're talking about, Lanre. I try to post chats a lot. I do a lot of charts on my Twitter, and then if I'm looking at certain plays, I'll post it in the chat. Regeneron is one that I've been looking at lately, actually. I'm wondering when this thing bounces. Because this thing could really bounce. No, I just told you, PayPal to 260, dude. Relax. We'll do a retracement here because this interests me here. So let's do. So you're gonna take your retracement tool, come from the top here. So what you're doing here is, see how this line goes across here. So I'm gonna put it where I want to drag it down, but I'm gonna look at where that line is at the top, and I'm gonna drag it down to the bottom here. I'm gonna click there, and then drag that across. So that tells me there's a very strong chance that we get a bounce here, and this goes back up to 514. I was actually looking at this week. I was seriously thinking about doing a lottery play for 500 on Regeneron for this week, because if it hits 514, what was I looking at for contracts? Contracts were not that bad when I was looking at it. Ooh, new Mandalorian tonight. What am I doing? I should go be watching Mandalorian. You guys are distracting me. Alright, REGN. I was looking at the 500s. 500 calls for next week. It's a $20 move, so it's not a small move. They were $3. So if it does hit the 514, your $3, your $300 basically, would be worth $1,400 to $1,500. So it's a 500% gain if it does a strong bounce. And Regeneron really moves when it moves. So ideally, you would like to see, if this is a ABC or ABCDE, then you'd be looking at, maybe something like this potentially for your move. So if this does actually turn over, you could potentially, I'm just eyeballing this, it's not entirely accurate, I'm just trying to show you what it could do. You could see it hit 514, 516 next week, or by the end of the year. Let me see what's going on with the financials. Holy cow, price to cash flow, what the hell? That's high. PE's fine. Quick ratio's high. Let's see here. Book ratio's high. Cash flow's bad. Well, it's okay. Balance sheet. Balance sheet's awesome. I love the balance sheet. Book value per share is awful. I don't necessarily trust TradingView's financials, but it's good to verify them with other ones. Okay. You're like my brother, Alex. He texts me the weirdest stocks. That's not the one you're probably thinking of. Did Netflix already. No, I know about Apion actually. Be curious, so I would just, for Apion, just, you got this lowering volume, just like crazy lowering volume here. So whichever way it breaks, just play the break here. This is what I had for Netflix. So I have Netflix in a cup and handle right here. So here's the cup, and then here's the handle. I'd like to see this retest 560, and then we could see this go towards 700 actually by end of next year. Oh, I got you. This is Netflix right here. Maybe if I zoom out, it's a little easier to see. So you're basically looking for a cup and handle right here. Ooh, I do like V. I was actually looking at this earlier today. I really want V to fill this gap. I think if it filled this gap right here, I'd be much happier. So that's why I was saying I'm a buyer at 200. I mean, if this hits 200, you should really just go crazy on it. I would go all in. This has a nice all-time chart too. So this is like one of those stocks that just always goes up, but unfortunately it's been having just a rough year, and more people on Earth, more people using Visa, so that makes a lot of sense to me. So two things on Visa. I would either like to see it fill this gap right here, and if it does, I would be a buyer, or if it doesn't fill the gap and breaks out above 217, then I'd be a buyer. But it's basically in a correction, right? A flat correction right now. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. If you have any questions or anything, hit me up in the Discord or in Twitter. And I'll do these from time to time. I used to do these a lot, and I've been getting really distracted with developing the software. That's what I really wanted to do tonight, but I want to jump on here and do some charting and things like that. I haven't done this in a while, and they're always fun. So, thank you, and everyone have a wonderful evening.